Plenty shredding outside. I'm basically naked. How did we get here?
So you might be surprised at what actually goes on tour. I just got back from a month on tour with my band Sungazer opening for Plenty on his North American tour alongside Jakub Jitecki and his band. And man, it was just such an amazing experience. Like, we've had so much fun both on stage and off stage. And there's so much stuff that happens on a transcontinental tour that it's hard to tell a coherent story for a YouTube video. So instead, I'm just gonna take you through a typical day. It's not exactly what you might think. This is May 26th. We left Denver, Colorado, April 26th. It's been exactly 1 month so far that I've been living in this bandwagon. I'm going a little crazy, but hey, you know. Making coffee right now. We have to make coffee with bottled water because none of the water that comes out of the bandwagon is potable. So when we shower, oh, you.
Very unpleasant experience.
What did it taste like?
It tastes like a diarrhea for 2 days.
Jesus Christ, man! These bandwagons. Ugh. Now, we were traveling around in a bandwagon. Bandwagon is a company which converts RVs into these tour bus-like things. They're moderately cheaper than tour buses. They don't have quite the same number of amenities, but they are definitely a step up from traveling around and sleeping in vans. This is the main cabin of the bandwagon. This is my bunk down here. This is Shib's, Jakub's. This is the junk bunk, which is an unused bunk, although our sound engineer Sean is joining us tonight in Phoenix. He'll probably be sleeping there on the way from Phoenix to LA.
Howdy, welcome.
This is Nick, our driver. He's the man who gets us from point A to point B. Woo! Woo!
Welcome to Pilot.
So in 1956, Dwight Eisenhower passed the Federal Highway Act. This laid the groundwork for the interstate system and the primary method of transporting goods across the United States: trucks. There's a deep infrastructure across the North American continent that caters to the needs of truckers. Major truck stop chains like Love's and Pilot, these places have things like truck parking and diesel gasoline and water, as well as amenities like showers and laundry. So as a result, the infrastructure needed to transport goods across the United States also transports jazz fusion musicians. The trucking infrastructure in the US makes it easier to live out of an RV for a month, like we were doing on this tour. Thank Eisenhower. The whole tour is organized in master tour. See, like Plenty Loadin's 1, Support Loadin, that's us, that's 2. But with some of these smaller venues, we have to drop all of our stuff and then find street parking for this massive bandwagon, so.
Zesty told me the last time he drove to this venue, they were able to parallel park both of the bandwagons in the lot, so there's a small chance we won't have to drop and go.
Pulling into Phoenix, it looks like there's quite a bit of traffic.
I want to know how many people are having fender benders on a straight highway in the middle of the fucking desert.
In the advance, they'll say, "There's no parking," and then sometimes there just is, so.
Plenty of room.
Plenty of room.
Plenty of room.
Plenty of room. Thanks, Sean. Now, I'm sure you've heard this, but merch is extremely important for touring bands. The guarantees how much money we get paid per show for a band that's playing support, like Sungazer and Jakub Jitecki, they're super low. So a good portion of the revenue has to come from merch sales. Turns out we bought too many hoodies. Not a lot of people in the South in the summer like to buy hoodies. So we have way too many of those. That was a rookie merch error. Because the guarantees are kind of low, we have to pick and choose when it comes to crew. Most of the time we're using the house sound engineer at whatever venue we're playing. But for this particular gig, we had our sound engineer, Sean, which was just awesome. How was your flight?
It was pretty painless.
And there's chips.
And there's chips. There's also cookies. I don't think there's drugs in the cookies.
And with a personal note. Thank you for being here, Sungazer and crew. Oh, that's cute. Love that. Traveling with 3 bands means there's a lot of equipment on stage and off. Sungazer has 2 instances of Ableton Live running. We're running Ethernet across the stage. Sean Crowder is using sensory percussion. So it's like this whole audio installation that needs to be installed every day. So generally, while Pliny is doing his sound check, we'll stage everything on the floor of the venue so that we can take everything up and make our sound check as efficient as possible. See, these are our own stage boxes that we've like labeled. All of our inputs are already pre-patched on the front. And then we got these breakout cables that run those inputs from across the stage into our rig. The advantage, of course, is that we know exactly what inputs are going where. We had problems on the last European tour of audio engineers mispatching things, which led to some very interesting incidents where Sean and I had different clicks. That was not great. We've been using my IEM rig that I detailed in my in-ear monitoring video. It's been super useful to hear the same thing in our ears every night. This all makes for a very efficient sound check. Things generally move along pretty quickly, which is important when you're playing support on a tour like this. You want to make sure that you're out of the way as much as you can be.
Adam, may I have a pack, please?
Yes, you may have a PAX.
Adam, give me a fucking pack.
Yo! They're nice and labeled, like it says should. Or it should say f***ing asshole.
Jared.
Racist.
Check 1. Check. Hey.
All right, SPD. Let's do. You can do bass. All right. At the very intro, can you just raise it by a few dB?
The da 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 da.
Yeah.
A bit.
Now Jakob and his band are about to sound check. After sound check, there's normally a little bit of time to chill and hang out. This is like my only free time of the day. What do you normally do in this
Chill, bro.
2-hour interim?
Get coffee, go to the gym, get food.
Cool.
Today I will not go to the gym.
Yeah, it's a little hot. On days and in cities where it's not super hot, I'll often go for a run, which is a great way of seeing the city when you don't have much time in a given city. All 3 bands on the bill will have all of their equipment on stage, 3 drum sets, and then honestly just 1 amplifier. Most people are using Helixes or Quad Cortexes. And as each band finishes, they'll have 15 minutes to take all of our equipment off stage so that there's room for the next band to play. So we have a $20 buyout today, which basically just means a part of the contract. We get $20 for dinner.
5, 4,
3,
Don't do this
2,
to me, guys.
1.
Choose the right one.
Doors open usually around 6 o'clock. This is when we'll eat dinner. And then soon after, Jakob takes the stage. Now, we were able to borrow some of Pliny's crew during this run, like Jeff was doing lights for Pliny, and he also ran lights for us, which was awesome. He was also a fantastic chess nemesis.
Go, Jeff.
How dare you make that move?
Okay. Let's play one more. All right, let's do one more.
Now backstage before performing, I'll normally noodle and warm up a little bit, put on my in-ear monitors, my wireless unit for my bass. When Jakob's set ends, they'll take all of this stuff off the stage. We'll go on stage just to make sure that nothing got knocked on the changeover. And I'll run backstage, get changed.
Okay, you ready?
Feel the rhythm! Feel the rhyme! Get on up! And then yeah, play our 45-minute show.
I love you guys so much!
What's up, Phoenix? How we feeling? We feeling good? Hell yeah.
Do it again!
We're an electronic jazz fusion band. We're not quite sure how we ended up on a prog rock bill, but hey, we're having fun while we're doing it. We're here to play time signatures at you. We got fans of time signatures in the house? Well, that's good, because this song has a time signature. Thank you guys. We are Sungazer. Thank you so much for taking part. We love you. Stay tuned for Pliny.
After the show, there is always a huge scramble to get everything off the stage. This, for me, is usually the most stressful part of the evening because there's so much chaos that goes on here. And it's also usually the beginning of about an hour-and-a-half timer. We have to be all packed and loaded into our trailer before Pliny's set ends. Where we pack and load this stuff in this hour and a half is sometimes less than ideal. Sometimes the venue crew just throws all the equipment in the back of the venue.
I hate this kind of loadout. Yeah. Pack up on the street.
But unfortunately, there isn't much of any other option. Okay. Now, most of these venues of this size expect that artists are going to be not spending nights in hotels. That means that we need showers, so often there'll be showers, there'll be laundry. This particular venue does not have laundry, but it does have a shower, so I'm going to try and squeeze in a shower real quick. And yeah, that will be the end of my evening.
Jared Neely on the saxophone.
Jared sits in on a tune at Pliny's set Flaneur, and he quoted something very spicy tonight. At the end of Pliny's set, normally all the guitarists from the evening get up and jam. After this group session concludes, I generally go straight to the merch booth. It's funny to think about it this way, but a big part of my job on tour is not to play music for you. It's rather to be your t-shirt salesman. Which is honestly, by this point in the evening, very fun, because this is the point in the evening where I'm all packed up and ready to go and I'm not feeling rushed. I really just enjoy taking this moment to talk to people, hang out, take some pictures. There's like a lot less stress than the entirety of the rest of the day. Last task of the evening. Pack up merch. And yeah, that is a typical day of touring. You know, bus call later that night might be around 2 a.m. or so, and then Nick drives to the next city. The whole thing repeats the next day, and 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 the next day. It's hard to communicate really just how the same it all is. Every day is like the last, and that it is amazing and exhausting and also a little alienating in ways. Because on some level you are living the dream, but your body certainly doesn't feel that way, and so you maybe doubt it yourself. But the experiences that I had, like with this amazing group of musicians and crew, really was inspiring and made me think like, hey, this is something that is worth doing. Maybe not for forever, but traveling and playing music, sharing in these moments with some of the most amazing fans and crowds across the United States and Canada. I mean, it's just awesome. So thank you if you came out. I hope you enjoyed this little window into my daily life on tour. We're gonna be touring the West Coast again in October. Click the link in the description if you'd like to learn more about that. Thanks guys, until next time. Peace.